want to talk with you about some of the things that we are putting together for small businesses. And there's also a small business fact sheet that should be available as well. We know small businesses are having a difficult time. For some reason, people don't realize that small businesses employ almost 80% of the people who work in the United States. We know it, and we are working very hard to make sure that small businesses survive. We've done a lot of things that I think are going to be helpful. Of course, the government has already decided that we're going to change the way SBA operates for small businesses. If you were not aware, up until this point, if you took a loan from SBA, they could only guarantee it for 75%. We've increased that amount now to 90%, because that will say to banks, this is a very safe loan, because the government is going to back 90% of it. We have done things that we have extended the expense. We've doubled, as a matter of fact, the amount that you can use to purchase new equipment from $125,000 to $250,000. We have given you a net operating loss carryback of 5 years as opposed to 2. There are now tax credits to hire unemployed veterans or to hire disconnected youth. So if you hire an unemployed veteran, we will give you a tax break for it, because we need to get our veterans back to work. They come home from a war that has either decimated them physically, emotionally, and mentally, and we owe it to them to give them gainful employment. So that's why we're giving these tax breaks, and we're certainly hopeful that you are going to start to hire veterans and disconnected youth. We're giving business stabilization loans. If you are behind on a loan, the government will give you a deferred payment on a loan of up to $35,000 so that you can catch up on your loan. And that loan will not be due and payable until at least 12 months after you have received all of the $35,000. We are doing all that we can to make small businesses better. We have as well put more money in for Brownsfields. We have put money in for smart grids. We have talked about weatherization assistance. And in a community like ours, it's important. When you have senior citizens or low-income people or people who live in public housing or people who are just having a difficult time in their homes, if you meet certain income levels or certain age levels, we are actually going to allow a tax credit of up to $6,500 to weatherize your home. So those of you in businesses that do rehabbing or things like that, this is a perfect opportunity. We will even buy furnaces. We're talking about windows. We're talking about insulation. We're talking about roofs, whatever it takes to save energy by way of weatherizing homes. We have in place a neighborhood stabilization program, which is going to allow communities to either purchase and rehab or raise all of these foreclosed and abandoned houses in our communities. Because the problem has gotten so great that there are literally streets that only have one house that's occupied. If we don't do something about that problem, our cities are going to continue to suffer and decay. So we're hopeful that those of you who are in the business of doing rehab again, or those who are in the business of raising homes, or communities, apply for these dollars. These are competitive grant dollars. Now, entitlement cities like the city of Cleveland and Euclid and some others, they automatically get their dollars because they're entitlement block grant cities. But those who are not need to apply for the dollars. We have funds available for COPS grants, and I was just happy to see yesterday that some 19 communities got $100,000 apiece for their police departments. These are the kinds of things we want to see happening with this program. For those who have been unemployed, we have now decided that we're going to pay 65% of the COBRA. Because one thing we find is when people lose their jobs, they lose their health care because they can't afford to pay for health care. And COBRA is so expensive that we know most people can't afford it. So now we're going to assume 65% of the cost of COBRA. As well, we are going to, I think it's very, very important, we're going to extend unemployment benefits. We're extending unemployment benefits by 9 months. And we have put billions of dollars in for job training, for training in new technologies, for training in green energy. We have done so many things that I think that we have to stop and look at the fact that the government is doing what it can. We now need the help that you can give us. We believe, at least most economists believe, that this plan, along with the President's budget, along with the Helping Americans Save Their Homes Act, along with dealing with health care, is really going to stop the bleeding. We believe, or we have been told, that we should see some improvement, some significant improvement in the economy by the spring of next year. Now, don't think that we're not going to lose some more jobs this year. We probably are. But the biggest part of it really has passed us by, we believe. There are some estimates that by the end of this year, when you combine the last two, this country will have lost 7 million jobs. Had we not done something like this, maybe it would be 10 million or 12 million. And I'm going to say to you what I have said to every other group I have spoken to since we've been talking about this package. People call it a stimulus package. That really isn't its title, but people call it a stimulus package. Their sole belief is that every dime we spend in this package is going to create jobs. We talk about the tax incentives that are there for every American. We talk about all of the things that are here, but let me say this to you, that as a nation, we still all, at least those of us who are elected, have an obligation to take care of the people we serve. And so I do not apologize for putting $20 billion in here for food stamps for people who are hungry. I don't apologize for that. I really am unapologetic about putting money in here for homeless programs, because the fastest rising group of children in schools is homeless children. I don't have an issue with that. I really do not have an issue with putting more money in for Head Start and early Head Start, because our children need it. Now, it may not create thousands and thousands of jobs, and people say, what's that got to do with job creation? It does create jobs, but to be perfectly honest, I don't care if it doesn't create a one. If we don't take care of our people, then we have not done what government is for. Government's job is to take care of its people. And the people who have the least are the ones who need us the most. So if we can't do what we're supposed to do, then you need to put somebody else in this seat. Because every time I have an opportunity to help somebody who needs my help, I intend to do it. And that's all I have to say about that.